Waterkeepers Florida is a regional entity as part of Waterkeeper Alliance. More than a year ago, waterkeepers from across the state of Florida came together and stood united against the threats to our waterways throughout the state. If we stand together, we can give our rivers a voice, we can make a difference, and we can protect the waters that we love. My name is Lisa Reineman, and I'm your St. Johns Riverkeeper. It is our mission to defend and restore the St. Johns for future generations. Our mighty river begins its 310-mile journey in central Florida, making its way north through the cypress swamps, marsh, as well as it's fed by more than 100 freshwater springs. It's a lazy river, and so when it can spread out, it makes a series of lakes. In fact, it's known as the River of Lakes. It's our duty to make sure we're protecting this river for future generations through education, advocacy, and making sure that we're giving our river a voice.
My name is Jen Lumberg, and I am your Matanzas Riverkeeper. The mission of the Matanzas Riverkeeper is to protect the health of the Matanzas River and its watershed through advocacy, education, and community engagement. And that includes everything from organizing river cleanups to advocating for stronger protections for our water quality with our elected officials. The Matanzas River is located in northeast Florida and flows through historic downtown St. Augustine. The Matanzas is a unique river in that its banks are home to two historic Spanish-era forts. It's a thriving estuarine ecosystem, and the water is one of the last places in northeast Florida that's clean enough to safely harvest and eat oysters from. The underlying narrative of our mission is that it's more important to keep pollution from entering our waterways in the first place than to try and fix them after the fact. A lot of times the amount of time and money and energy that it takes to fix an ecosystem after it's broken make it impossible, if not extremely difficult. We tell people that you have to protect what you love.
I'm John S. Quarterman. I'm the Sewanee Riverkeeper, 10,000 square miles between Tallahassee and Jacksonville. And the kinds of things we like to do is water trails, for example. We make these nice metal signs that we put down at the water. These are all the public landings on our rivers. We've got 15 named rivers and a whole bunch of creeks, but then this kind of thing happens. Valdosta, Georgia spilled 7.5 million gallons of raw sewage, and 2 months later we're still cleaning up the aftermath. There's a company from Alabama wants to put a strip mine for titanium right next to the Okefenokee Swamp, which is the headwaters of the Sewanee River and the St. Mary's. This is logos of a whole bunch of organizations we helped get to sign up against that, including Waterkeepers Florida and Waterkeeper Alliance.
My name is Ronaldo Diaz, and I'm your Lake Worth Waterkeeper. The Lake Worth Lagoon and its watershed covers most of Palm Beach County, which is on the eastern coast of Florida. The Lake Worth Lagoon and its watershed is considered the northern extent of the Everglades. And because of that, we cover a wide variety of habitats from Lake Okeechobee to cypress forest to open prairie to the coastal estuary that is the lagoon itself, and of course our reefs offshore in the Gulf Stream. We sample every week for Enterococcus bacteria, 16 sites throughout the lagoon. We plan on expanding that to the inshore lakes. We also sample for microcystin because our lagoon is a northern estuary and it gets hit hard by cyanobacteria blooms, especially in the summer. So a lot of times we're out there monitoring that condition.
My name is Kelly Cox, and I'm the General Counsel at Miami Waterkeeper. Miami Waterkeeper's mission is to defend and protect South Florida's watershed through community engagement and citizen advocacy rooted in sound science and research. We're committed to providing swimmable, drinkable, fishable water for all members of our community. We do this in 3 different ways. We practice strategic community engagement and education, we conduct in-house scientific research, and we engage in legal advocacy when necessary. Our 3 core focus areas are clean water, sea level rise resiliency, and marine ecosystem protection. We focus on those key areas because we are adjacent to the Florida Reef Tract, one of the most imperiled stretches of coral reef in the entire world. We also focus on clean water protection as it relates to our surface waters, the Miami River, and other tributaries in our jurisdiction, as well as groundwater, insofar as the Biscayne Aquifer, our primary source of drinking water in our region. We work all the way from Miami-Dade County up through Broward County and out to the urban development boundary, where we focus on urban water resource issues. We're proud to be a member of the Waterkeeper Alliance and Waterkeepers Florida.
Hi, my name is Andy Melee. I'm Executive Director of Suncoast Waterkeeper. Our territory, our jurisdiction assigned to us by the Waterkeeper Alliance includes a lot of land up in the phosphate mine areas and distributes downstream to the Peace River, the mouth of the Peace River, the Myakka River, the Alafaya River, even though it's up in Tampa Bay. And so our main projects are a water quality initiative, the phosphate initiative, and litigation where leaks of nutrient-rich pollution, aka sewage, have been discovered, and we have had 3 successful lawsuits recently. Our habitat is a little bit of everything. It's coastal, it's beach, it's upland, and it's developed. A lot of it's developed.
I'm Georgia Ackerman, Riverkeeper and Executive Director of Apalachicola Riverkeeper. For more than 20 years, Apalachicola Riverkeeper has advocated for the protection of the Apalachicola River and Bay. The Apalachicola River is Florida's largest river in volume of freshwater flow and is encompassed by Florida's largest forested floodplain. Stretching 106 miles from Chattahoochee, Florida, south to Apalachicola, where the river meets the bay, this fresh water is the driver of productivity and ecological health of the Apalachicola floodplain and bay. This connected, biologically diverse river system deserves long-term protection. Join Apalachicola Riverkeeper in speaking up for the Apalachicola River and Bay.
Hi, my name is Justin Bloom. I'm with the Tampa Bay Waterkeeper. Tampa Bay Waterkeeper is based in St. Pete and represents communities throughout Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay spans nearly 400 square miles and drains nearly 2,400 square miles of land. It's a major estuary. The 1970s, many sources of pollution, anthropogenic pollution from sewage systems and agriculture, industrial sources, stressed the bay to the point where it basically collapsed. The seagrass populations failed. Seagrasses in Tampa Bay are generally an indicator of the health of the bay. Since then, the bay has steadily been in recovery, thanks to the efforts of many environmental organizations and enforcement of federal and state regulations.
I'm Anna Laws. I'm the St. Mary's Riverkeeper. The St. Mary's forms the part of the border between Florida and Georgia. It begins in the Okefenokee Swamp and runs about 130 miles out to the Atlantic Ocean between Cumberland Island and Amelia Island in Florida. It's a blackwater river, and even though it's only 130 miles, there's over 3,000 miles of watershed. A lot of that is wetlands. So some of the threats that we have on our river is wetland degradation. We have a lot of people on septic systems in our wetlands, so we get some fecal coliform issues. And because we're on the coast, we want to make sure all of our coastal communities are resilient to sea level rise and climate change. So we work in a lot of coastal resilience work. And of course, outreach. To me, being a waterkeeper just means being an advocate for everyone in that community, including both wildlife and people of that community.
Hello, I'm Harrison Langley, the Collier County Waterkeeper, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about our majestic waterways. We start on the western edge of the Everglades and go on up through Marco Island and Naples. As an organization, we try to focus on beach cleanup, nutrient loads in the water, and the artificial reef system, how it's progressing. We've started to focus more on going after a grant to look after our artificial reef systems and how harmful algae blooms affect them. We've had increased nutrient loads, especially in nitrogen, over the last couple of years, and trying to find out the source for where it's coming from is one of our main goals, to try to keep our water as pristine as possible.
At Indian Riverkeeper, our mission is to protect the Indian River Lagoon and St. Lucie River estuary. These waterways are impacted by both non-point and point source pollution. In the southern end, massive Lake Okeechobee discharges. In the northern end, inputs such as septic tanks, yard fertilizers cause algal blooms which block out sunlight and kill our seagrasses, affecting marine life. When not patrolling the waters, Indian Riverkeeper engages the public and is in the boardrooms and meeting rooms of regulatory agencies charged with protection of our waters.
Hi there, John Casani here, Colusa Waterkeeper. We're one of the newer keeper organizations in Florida, starting in 2016. But we have a huge project area that includes Lake Okeechobee, Caloosahatchee River, and Greater Charlotte Harbor. And we have a great team here in Southwest Florida with our board of directors, our volunteers, and everybody that helps us. Some of the really big concerns right now are harmful algal blooms and some of the bacterial contamination issues that we have. Incredible public health issues with contact in various ways to these harmful algal blooms. And we're hoping that we'll see some big policy changes in the upcoming years.
I grew up on a lake in Central Florida, swimming and fishing, and there were always fish and alligators and otters and birds.
The waterways in Tampa Bay are the lifeblood of the community. We rely on healthy, clean water.
You know, I had the privilege and the opportunity to grow up around clean water, and I want to make sure my children have the same.
I became a waterkeeper to help maintain and preserve the waterways I grew up with.
Clean water is integral to our economy, our ecology, and our way of life in South Florida.
We are Waterkeepers Florida, fighting for your water.